So, today I am excited to announce the start of a new series on this channel that will focus on redesigning my original characters. Between 2021 and 2025, I wasn't really drawing much, so now I'm wanting to touch up their designs so they feel new and fresh. My OC Maya I unfortunately redesigned before I decided I wanted to start making content on YouTube. So this is her in early 2021 versus her in late 2025. For today's episode, we will be redesigning her best friend and crush, Marcus. Before I dive into my process, I wanted to show you past drawings of him so you can see how his design and my art have evolved over time. Now, a lot of it's going to be from my school notes. Unfortunately, a lot of my early digital art from my DeviantArt and high school Tumblr days are lost to time. I do not have access to them anymore, and those accounts are long gone. So the history of Marcus. This image from 2012, I was unsure if I wanted to actually include it or not. It's technically the first image of Marcus, but also not really. Over time, I have melded my OCs together, or split some apart, or simply switched their name, looks, or personality around with other OCs. Marcus is one of those split OCs. Character in this image was my original design for Leon, but one day I decided I didn't want my pretty long hair anime guy to be so mean. The appearance stuck with Leon as his design changed over time, but the personality became Marcus. Now, I have softened Marcus up over the years. He's more solitary and mildly grumpy these days. He's definitely nowhere near as mean as the original guy was. More drawings from 2012. This was the first actual appearance of Marcus. I liked messy semi-long hair and flannels, so that was his main focus in his design. In one of the images, you can see him thinking about an older design of Amaya. Their relationship has been set in stone since the very beginning. Those two have always gone together in my mind. They're like soulmates, essentially. 2013, him and Amaya. Drawing characters interacting was difficult for me. It still kind of is, to be honest. But not that bad. I mean, what is that hug? Oh my god. It is so bad. This is 2014. In my older art, I did like mimicking styles from media I liked. This is where I first swapped his flannel out for a hoodie. I gave him military dog tags for some reason. I think I just wanted to give him an accessory to wear. Also tried drawing his room. I wanted it to reflect how he doesn't take very good care of himself. It's not how I would draw his room nowadays. This is a little too depressing for my taste, with him sleeping on the mattress on the floor. 2015, Marcus and Amaya. One of those rare Marcus smiles, because he's with Amaya. Design-wise, he hasn't changed much, but my art did. 2016, went back to the flannel. Started to experiment with layering a hoodie and a flannel. 2018, probably the year I drew him the most. It's when I was able to find the most drawings of. Early in the year, I settled on the layered flannel hoodie combo. Changed his hair again. Late in the year was when I decided he wasn't human and gave him horns. I was always undecisive between what exactly he was. Some days he was half demon, other days he was half dragon. I just always knew for sure he was half human at least. Just couldn't figure out what that other half was. And then a couple Inktober drawings from that year. Another rare smile of him hanging out with Amaya. Which, by the way, I want to show you my Inktober 2018 sketchbook sometime. It has a few of my favorite drawings I've ever done in it. Even though it's like 8 years ago now, there's some pretty good drawings in there that I'm very fond of. 2020, wanted to revamp his design. Hair's the same as it was previously. The horns have changed a bit. I invented a weird combo hoodie flannel that doesn't really make any sense. I just wanted to do something with him, like, just a hoodie was kind of boring, but I didn't want just a flannel. I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, I don't know, what if I combine them? I don't know what this is. I don't think it works, but it's what I was doing. 2021, I made an official info card based on his 2020 design. I've edited out info in the bio that's no longer applicable to him. This is my last official drawing of him, as I stopped actively drawing shortly after then. So now let's discuss how we'll be improving Marcus today. The main thing I wanted to change about Marcus was his outfit. I felt his hairstyle still fit him just fine. It was just the clothes that needed fixing. Now, I'm not really good at coming up with clothes. I'm a t-shirt and jeans kind of person. Fashion's not really my thing. So I ran to Pinterest to put together a mood board. You can see I've already started to set up mood boards for some of my other OCs. Mostly adding clothing ideas to their boards, but I also like to add decor and accessories to help me figure out their aesthetic. So for Marcus, I really wanted to go back to the flannel, but I still wanted him to have layers. I like layering clothes. I also wanted it to be kind of loose and comfy. To begin the redesign process, I like to sketch a base of the character. I like to pose them in a standing position that I feel reflects their personality. He keeps to himself and is very closed off, so I like to imagine he's often hunched over. He tends to keep his arms close to him, hands in pockets every now and then. After drawing the base, I like to have free outfits. First one is always the original outfit, so I know where they started from, and also so I can stop myself from going way too far off from the original concept. Which, when I was drawing his original outfit, his original hoodie doesn't really make sense, and I didn't know where the pocket would be, so I didn't bother fixing his arm, so apologies for the weird hand just morphing into his jacket. It was just meant to be like quick sketches, so I'm not that pressed about fixing it. After that, I draw 2 new outfits. The first new outfit for him, I had to do a couple of iterations first to get to where I wanted to be, but once I found it, I just knew that was going to be his new look. There was nothing I wanted to change, and it just felt right. So for the final outfit idea, I decided to have some fun and do something a little different. I decided to use the flannel print for his pants instead of his shirt. It's an interesting outfit, but I feel like it's too loud for him. Like, he would not wear those pants. It would make him stand out. But it was just an interesting idea I wanted to toy with. Now that he's got his new outfit picked out, I like to clean up the sketch and make a character sheet for him. While I'm finishing up Marcus's character sheet, let's talk about his backstory. So at a very young age, Marcus and his brother Damien were abandoned as young children. Which, side note, I tend to make my characters orphans. I don't know why. I've been doing this since I was a kid. Every story I write, there's an orphan. Don't know what's wrong with me. So, whoopsies, orphans again. All orphans. They were eventually taken in by Leon, who's a wizard, and he acts as their adoptive dad. Now, there is a bit of an age difference between Damien and Marcus. Damien was still old enough to remember their mom a little bit, whereas Marcus wasn't. He was much younger. Damien has, feelings of resentment growing in him towards his mother, but also towards Leon, because he doesn't accept him as, their actual dad. At some point, teenage Damien decides he wants to leave. Marcus insists on staying with Leon as he sees Leon as their actual dad, hey, this man raised us, what are you doing? This man cares for us, this man loves us. So Marcus refuses to leave, and this causes a rift to form between Damien and Marcus. As for Marcus's childhood, he didn't really have any friends due to his appearance. The town Leon and Marcus were living in at the time didn't have many magical people, and no one really knew what Marcus was. The horns and black sclera kind of freaked them out. They all thought he was a demon. And Leon, despite being a wizard who's been alive for, many centuries, also doesn't even know what Marcus is. No one's really seen anybody like Marcus and Damien before. Or at least not anybody currently alive. So due to people typically thinking Marcus is a demon, they often stay away. They don't want any association with him, which results in him having a very lonely childhood after his brother leaves. So Leon, wanting to provide a better life for Marcus, decides to move to the capital of the kingdom where there's a lot more of a magical presence. However, even there, with a bunch of magical people around, he's still not accepted because, again, no one's really seen anything like him. They don't know what he is. People there also think he's a demon. Every now and then, somebody will try to chat him up to see if they can figure out what he is, but Marcus has gotten kind of over that. He can sense when somebody's not interested in a genuine conversation. He could tell they don't want to know him as a person, they just want to know what he is. However, at this point, he's reached adulthood, so he's used to it. He's kind of accepted that he'll never be accepted, and this is his life. He's got a loving dad that cares for him, and at this point, that's all that matters. He's happy that he's got at least one person that cares for him as a person. So Leon frequently sends Marcus out for chores. So Marcus is often buying magical supplies for Leon. One day, Leon needs some medicinal herbs, so he sends Marcus out to get some, and the shop they typically buy herbs from is unexpectedly closed that day, so Marcus tries a new shop. And that is the shop that Amaya runs. So that's how they meet. Now, Amaya is not one to judge, and she's also not one to pry, so she does not inquire as to what Marcus is. She just tries to carry on a typical conversation like she does with all her other customers, so she treats him like everybody else. Even though she's got customers in her building, whispering under their breath, "Oh my god, it's a demon." She doesn't let what other people have to say about him scare her. Marcus ends up becoming a regular at the shop whenever he has to run and get supplies for Leon. And through his conversations with Amaya, they discover they have common interests. He enjoys gardening a little bit, so he's often asking her for tips and advice on flowers. that he's growing. And she's also got like a bit of an interest in magical history, and he's a big history nerd since he grew up reading a lot of the books in Leon's vast library. So over time, they become good friends. Now, Marcus does eventually develop a crush on her, but since he's new to the whole friendship thing, he doesn't really realize his feelings right away. It takes him time for him to realize that. So personality-wise, Marcus is a bit of a lonely, grumpy grump. He doesn't socialize much due to people not wanting to genuinely get to know him. He doesn't smile very often. He's got that natural, frowny face. He's also got chronic insomnia. He can't fall asleep very easily, so he tends to stay up late reading books from Leon's library. Thank you for watching the video and sticking all the way to the end. If you found this content interesting, consider sticking around and hitting the subscribe button. I hope y'all enjoyed getting to know Marcus better. I have plenty of OCs, so expect more content like this in the future where I will redraw them and drop their lore. I can't wait to introduce you to the character that's getting redesigned next time. See you then!